Good morning, class 7th. Once again, welcome in my class. So, today we start a new chapter that is called Devotional Paths to the Divine. Okay, so how the the society will change, a society was changed that time, and which the type of the devotees also there, and which type of the paths they can arrange, we can say. Okay, you may have seen people perform rituals of the worship or singing bhajans, kirtans, or the kavalis, or even the repeating the name of God in the silence, and noticed that some of them are moved to tears. Such intense devotion or love of the God is the legacy of the various kinds of the bhakti and Sufi movements that have evolved since the 8th century. Which century? The 8th century, we can say. Okay, sometimes you can see the easily in the previous Navratris time, the bhajan and kirtans in our homes. Yeah, you can see the Qawwali in the different movies, just like Bhar De Jholi Meri Ya Muhammad. So sometimes they are crying also. Sometimes the tears also came from their eyes, and some, we can say, different types of the feelings they have. Okay, so that is called the bhakti. Okay, so the idea of the supreme God, where the idea emerged of the supreme God. Okay, because we learn a little bit about here two kings, then samantas, then the tribes. Suddenly, we are moving to the such type of the supreme God. Which one is the supreme God, and who create the all the earths? Yeah, who are moving to the earth, and how the peoples are engaged to doing himself related to the gods. Okay, how? So the before large kingdoms emerged, different groups of peoples worshipped their own gods and goddesses. As people were brought together through the growth of towns, trade, and empires, new ideas began to develop. The idea that all living things pass through countless cycles of the birth and rebirth, performing good deeds and bad, came to be the widely accepted. Similarly, the idea that all human beings are not equal, even the birth, gained ground during this period. The belief that the social privileges came from the birth in a noble family or a high caste was the subject of many learned texts. So the our text says something about that one. If you came from the higher family, so your rituals should be your goddess should be different, and the belief and the social privileges came from your birth side. Okay, just like the Brahmins, we can say, just like in Kshatriya, we can say. Okay, we learn a little bit about in our previous chapters, like the ashrams and the varnas. So the many people were uneasy with the such ideas and turned to the teaching of the Buddha or the Jainis, according to the which it was possible to overcome social differences and break the cycle of rebirth. Okay, this word also very important for this chapter, rebirth. We believe in the rebirth. Okay, just like we talk about the 84 लाख योनियों के बाद इंसान का जन्म होता है, या हमें बहुत अच्छे कर्म करने के बाद भी करने के बाद ही हमें मनुष्य रूप मिलता है, या इतने अच्छे कर्म करने के बाद ही हमें वो सारी चीज़ें मिलती हैं. ठीक है, तो दिस लाइन इज कॉल्ड द साइकिल ऑफ रीबर्थ थ्रू द पर्सनल एफर्ट्स. Others felt attached to the idea of the Supreme God who could deliver humans from the such bonds if they approached with the devotion or bhakti. This idea advocated the Bhagavad Gita, where the first idea came from the bhakti that is related to the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, grew in the popularity in the early century of the Common Era, that is called Shiva, Vishnu, and Durga. Supreme deities came to be worshipped through the elaborate rituals. At the same time, gods and goddesses worshipped in the different areas came to be identified with the Shiva, Vishnu, and Durga. So in class 6th, we learn about the Pashupati, the Pashupat, yeah, little bit the one-horned, that particular Lord Shiva, okay, related to the Lord Shiva. Then we can move to the other gods, just like we can say generator, operator, and destroyer, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And now when we talk about the Bhagavad Gita, In Bhagavad Gita, Shiva, Vishnu and Durga also the supreme god here. Okay, and some more goddesses you can say देवी देवता जो थे वो ज़्यादा बढ़ने लगे. ठीक. The different areas came to identify the Shiva, Vishnu and Durga. In the process, local myth and legends become a part of the Puranic stories. That is the called Puran. Okay, 18 Purans are there. तो उन पुराणों में भी कुछ कहानियाँ उससे जुड़ने लगी. ठीक है, कुछ मिथ भी उसके साथ जुड़ने लगे. ठीक. Introduced into the local cults, eventually the Puranas also laid down that it was possible for devotees to receive the grace of God regardless of their caste status. The idea of the bhakti became so popular that even the Buddhists and Jainis adopted these beliefs. अब ऐसा क्यों हुआ? Why? Because that time Buddhas and Jainism also spread rapidly, we can say. Okay, peoples are believing the Sanatani, yeah, we can say the Hindu rituals are very hard for their side. Okay, so that's why they are easily adopt the Buddhism and you can say the Jainism. So that's why the Bhakti cult, yeah, you can say the emerge of the Bhakti was rapidly here emerged. A new kinds of Bhakti in the South India, Nayanars and Alavars, we can say. Sometimes we can Nayanar, we can say, and Alavars and Alvars also we can say. The 7th to 19th century, 9th century saw the emergence of the new religious movements led by the Nayanars, saint devoted to the Shiva, especially for the Shiva, okay, and Alavars, saint devoted to the Vishnu. We have two group also, okay, just like in Mohammedan, Shia and Sunni, and the Christians, we can say, they also divided into the different parts, but the two is very famous, that one, the Catholics and Protestants. So here we डिवाइड इंटू द सदर्न मोस्ट, या हम कह सकते हैं कि साउथ में जो सबसे ज़्यादा फेमस जो धर्म थे उनमें से जो धर्म के जो दो रूप थे वो थे एक अलावर्स और एक थे नयनार्स, जो एक शिव को मानते थे, नयनार्स कहलाते थे, जो त्रिपुंड न बना करके बल्कि खड़ा टीका लगाते, तिरछा टीका लगाया करते थे, और जो अलावर्स थे वो खड़ा टीका लगाते थे, वो विष्णु के डेवोटीज थे या उनको मानने वाले थे. ठीक है. हु केम फ्रॉम द ऑल कास्ट इंक्लूडिंग दोज कंसिडर्ड अनटचेबल्स, जो there are also some untouchables but they are not believing that one, like the Pulayars and the Panars. They were sharply critical to the Buddhist and Jains in the praised ardent love to the Shiva or Vishnu as the path of the salvations. They draw upon the ideas of the love and heroism as found in the Sangam literature, the earliest example of the Tamil literature, that is called we learned a little bit about that one in the previous chapters. Tamil literature is very rich literature. Silpadikaram, Mani Mekhle, such type of the great books are there. Okay, composed during the early century of the Common Era and blended them with the value of the Bhakti. The Nayanars and Alavars went from place to place, composing acoustic poems in the praise of the deities enriched in the village they visited and set them to the music. Okay, so they are started to bhajan kirtan related to them. Okay, why? Because they did not believe into the salvation of the Buddhism. Okay, the Madhyam Marga they not believe. They believe if we हम चाहते हैं कि इस मोक्ष को प्राप्त करना जो हम जिसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए हमने क्या करना होगा? भगवान के भजन गाने होंगे, भजन का कीर्तन करना होगा, रिचुअल्स करने होंगे. तो ये इनका मानना था. ठीक है, ये है आपके जो ऊपर की ओर टीका लगाते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड, इनको क्या कहा गया? इनको नाम दिया गया था नयनार्स. नो, दे आर द अलावर्स. देखेंगे आप टीका ऊपर की ओर है. ठीक है, और जो दूसरे हमें दिखाई देंगे, और ये जो है ये है शिव के रूप में या फिर शिव को पूजे जाने वाले लोग, जिनको हमने नाम दिया नयनार्स. और इनका टीका कैसे लगता था? जैसे जागेश्वर में लगता है. ठीक है, इस तरह से अय्यर फैमिली को जैसे आपने देखा होगा. ठीक है. Now there were the 63 Nayanars and who belonged to the different caste backgrounds such as the porters, untouchables, workers, peasants, hunters, soldiers, brahmans and chiefs. The best known among them were the Apar, Sambandar, Sundara and the Malika Vakshagar. There are two sets of the compilations of their song, that is called Devram and Tiruvakkam. Okay, so they are the Nayanars. There were the 12 Alavars only, who came from the equally divergent backgrounds, the best known being the Periyar, his daughter Andala, and that is the called Todadi Potti Poddi, and Alavar and Namivars. Their song was compiled in the Divya and Prabandham. Okay, so they all are the name of the particular Alavars and some Nayanas. So Nayanas we can believe in south. You can say only few temples related to the Vishnu. Okay, and almost temples are related to the which one? uh, we can say Lord Shiva. Shankaracharya also came from Uttarakhand, from the Kaladi, that is the Kerala. ओके वहाँ उनका जन्म हुआ था, वहाँ से वो यहाँ पहुँचे और यहाँ रह करके उन्होंने क्या किया कि केदारनाथ की स्थापना की, अभी हम कहें कि वहाँ पर उस शिवलिंग की स्थापना की और वहाँ पर पूजा अर्चना की। ठीक है, तो आज भी वहीं के नंबूदरीपाद ब्राह्मण जो होते हैं वही आकर के केदारनाथ में क्या करते हैं, पूजा पाठ करते हैं। वो अधिकतर साउथ के ही पंडित माने जाते हैं। ठीक, तो हमारे यहाँ वी ऑल्सो बिलीव इन द same, we can say, in the Lord Shiva. Lots of the temples belonging to the Lord Shiva, just like Chamu Devta, just like we can say Pancheshwar, Rameshwar, okay, and all Mallikarjun, Sirakot Mandir, okay, Malainath Baba, yeah, Talkedar, they all are the devotees of the Lord Shiva, you can say. We also we also belonging to the same, just like in Nayanars, but we believe in the which one? Lovers also. We believe in the Vishnu also. We believe in the 33 Koti types of devotees. Yeah, we can say gods and goddesses. Okay, so thank you very much for today's video. Okay, next we will learn about the devotees and the Lord, and the hagiographies and philosophy and bhaktis. Okay, so we can learn in the next chapter. Okay.